give you back your phone. I don't know why you put some hit tonight. I'm going to have to check the office.
Because the phones are made. How old is your phone? They're made to become obsolete in 3 years.
Yeah.
It could be that I have this
Mama, stop.
that long. But it's still working otherwise. Okay, gentlemen, welcome again. I know you joined us the other morning. Okay, feel welcome. You related to Bob in some way? Wow, wow. Not Bob.
You realize he has a name?
When you still talk to each other, that makes everybody else a bad name.
Best friends.
That's too bad. Gabba has to get along with everyone.
Good luck. Good luck. We are on
Ayin
You're on the left line.
All right.
Okay.
70B.
Right. Okay. So the very bottom of Ayin Amud Bey.
Oh, you left us there.
70B4.
Rabbi Yossi Oser is where we're going to pick up this morning. On the last line. Okay, of that tomorrow. Rabbi Yossi, right? He disagreed. Amar Rabbi says, Rabbi, my time with the Rabbi Yossi. What was Rabbi Yossi's reason?
Start right down there.
Okay. Zera Mishum Ma'aseh the Beit Cholim. Okay, an incident that happened at Beit Cholim, which I'm going to just give a very quick. Okay, the incident was such where the son vows no benefit from his father, but gives all his property as a gift to another, okay, in order to allow his father to come to the wedding celebration. But the other consecrates the property to the Beis Hamikdash, declaring if he's not empowered to do so, then the gift is not valid. Okay?
Okay.
Right?
We're good.
We're good? All right. I'm going to try it one more. I'm just surprised at it. Okay? All right. Let's go out. Let's go back. Let's try here.
It's 10 of 9 already.
Right. It's not working. All right. So what happens? We're going to write now. Ayin Aleph, Amud Aleph. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, top line. Yisrael, Chodesh Echad before. Regarding an Israelite, we said that the time frame was 1 month. Okay. Marvin's with us this morning?
No, gotta be picked up.
All right. Hainu Tanakama, isn't that the same as Tanakama? Amar Abai says Abai Kohenet Atala Ashma'ina. According to Abai, the reason he brought the issue of the time frame for the Israelites, okay, it was that therefore he could also bring the time frame regarding a female Kohen. Right?
71. Check
Okay,
our bite.
so what happens? Right, so
Turn
that,
over one.
right, so why the 30 days versus, okay? So we're going to get to another clarification. So Rabba Amar, so Rabba, Chodesh Malay, the Chodesh Chaser, Ika Beinai. No, there is a difference between Tanakama, okay, and Rabbi Yossi. Okay, all right, what's the situation? Because one basically is saying that it's 30 days. The other, by saying it's 1 month, it could be either 29 days or 30 days.
Well, he means the doctor 29. He means to argue with the Tanakh.
That's the one shot. Okay? All right, so what happens? Amar Rav, Lo Shanu Elabim Mafarish. No, we're talking about here where it was explicitly stated up to the 30 days. About the stam, when it's said in general, Yotzila Alfred must give her a divorce immediately. Be attained to Bach and pay her petite. Shmuel Amar, says Shmuel, Afilu B'stam Lo Yatzi Shema Yimatzei Petach L'Nidro. That even if he doesn't explicitly give a deadline, okay, we don't force him to divorce her immediately because perhaps there will be a way to disengage, so to speak, his vow. Yeah. But, says the Gemara, but they argued about this one time previously. It's not, as we learned elsewhere, one who took a vow preventing his wife from benefiting from him and in regards to relations. Right? Beit Shammai Omrim Shtei Shabbatot. According to Beit Shammai, the time frame was 2 weeks that he could still live with her before giving the divorce. Beit Hillel Omrim, and Beit Hillel says Shabbat Echad, only a season. Va'amar Rav, and Rav says, Machloket b'mefaresh. Their argument was when it was a specific, explicit statement about the stem, in general, when it was made a neder, Yotzila alter v'yitain k'tuba. You must divorce her immediately and pay her k'tuba. Shmuel Amar, but here too, in the same argument of the Tashmish, right? Afilu b'stam nami lo yotzi shema yimatzei petach l'nedro. That even in that situation, you do not divorce her immediately, lest we find some means to nullify and negate his vow. Tzricha. And why, says the Gemara, do we need to have brought both examples? The itmar bahahi, because if we had said it only in regards to the example of Tashmish, bahahi ta'amar, in that situation, ta'amar Rav would have said, Mishum delo efshar v'parnas, because it's not possible to have a third party being involved in this Tashmish. Okay? Aval baha, but in this case it's in mazon, nehanef from mazon, like the efshar b'parnas, that's possible with a third party, the steward, ema, model Shmuel. I might say that Rav would have acknowledged the view of Shmuel. The itmar baha, and if I had said again the situation of mazon, nehanef from mazon, baha ka'amar Shmuel. In this case, it was where Shmuel might say, Yishum de Efshar B'Parnas, because there could have left him more time. Why? Because you have this third party. Okay? Aval Baha'i, but regards to the situation of Tashmish, Ema Modeh Leila Rav, I would say that perhaps in that case Shmuel would have acknowledged the position of Rav, and that's why we needed to bring both examples, both Machlokot in this case. Snad. And we learn now in another mission. Hamadir et ishto, shalot om echad mikol haperot. Okay, one who makes a vow that his wife cannot taste a particular kind of produce, fruit. You'll see he taints tuba. You say that he must divorce her and give pay the k'tuba.
And we're going to see that.
Okay, so what's going to happen?
Complicated.
V'shlema l'Rav. That's understandable if we take the perspective of Rav. Why? Because here, the stam. There is no deadline given here. It's a general measure. Done the stam. But in the earlier section, in other words, where we saw the first part, it said 30 or whatever, 60 if it's a Kohenet, right? The wife of the Kohen, the Mefaresh. There it was explicitly spelled out. Hello, the Shmuel Kasha. But therefore this would still be problematic according to the view of Shmuel. Right?
Exactly what is the problem?
Okay? In this case, he's saying...
The Gemara will explain it later.
He's going to give a statement. And he doesn't give an explicit end to the statement. Okay? It's as if he says, she can't eat...
period.
Pineapple or grapefruit, whatever.
And if she does,
then I'll never sleep with her.
well, that's
The Gemara is going to tell us, is that neder simply a neder in and of itself, or is it a neder that is connected to something else?
Well, it has to be connected.
Because he has to make it in regards to himself.
No.
We said he can't make a neder on her.
So either it's a neder she made that he confirmed,
Okay.
or
We'll
it's
get to
if
that.
she ever eats an apple, then I'll
We'll
never
get
sleep.
to it. Hold on. We'll get to it. Elu Shmuel Kasher. But we said to Shmuel, this is still problematic. So what must we be dealing with here? Kigon Shenedrahi. That was saying that she's the one who made the vow, V'kiyem la ihu, and he allowed her to maintain the vow. He did not make fair, he did not negate the vow. That's what the Gemara is saying. We seem to have to understand it in that context. Why? Because of our Rabbi Meir. Why? Because Rabbi Meir is of the opinion, namely, hu notein etzba bein shineh. Okay, that he's putting a finger in his mouth.
Her mouth.
Shineh. Okay, right?
Her mouth.
Her mouth, namely, he's causing her vow to take effect. Okay, that's how we need to understand. The Savah Rabbi Meir, and Rabbi Meir is of the opinion. Okay, who's notain etzba bein shineh, that Rabbi Meir really holds that he's allowing her vow to take effect. Okay, v'hatani, but aren't we taught elsewhere? Ha'isha shenidra the Nazir, the Shema Ba'ala, a woman who takes a vow, okay, that she's not able to partake of certain things, as in the example of a Nazirite vow, okay, and the husband hears this vow, and he did not negate her vow, he mavatel her vow. Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, the two of them seem to be saying, that she put the finger in her own mouth.
Making the vow.
Making the vow.
In other words,
That
it's her
puts the
fault
vow-
she made the vow.
She makes the vow, he did not do anything, therefore she causes the vow to take effect. Okay? If that's the case, and the husband chooses to negate her vow, he should proceed to nullify it. The im amah, and if we're going to say, ifshe isha nadrani, and if he wants to say, I don't want a wife that goes around making vows all the time, because remember the rabbis were not happy with people consistently making vows. We need to keep that in mind. Kate said he should divorce her, right? Shelo b'ketubah, but without having to pay her ksuba. Okay? So what happened?
Because she is, in effect,
She's the one who
rebelled
Well, we'll
right.
get to that.
Because she said, I'm not.
We'll get to that. Right. Rabbi Yossi, the Rabbi Eliezer. So the two of them, Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Eliezer, say, who notain etzba bein shineh. He is the one, by not negating her vow, he is the one who's putting the finger in her mouth, in other words, making the vow take effect, right? L'fichach, im ratzah ha'ba'al leheter, yefer. That if the husband wants to nullify the vow, he should nullify it. V'im amar, i'afshi b'isha nedarim. And if he says, I don't want a woman always making vows, yotzi v'yitain ketubah. He must divorce her and give her the ksuba.
Because it's his fault.
Because then it was his responsibility by not nullifying the vow that makes the vow go into effect. Okay? So the Gemara says, Ipuch, let's reverse this.
Switch the players.
Okay, in other words, we're going to suggest that it wasn't an example of Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Eliezer saying one thing, and Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda saying something else. We're going to say it this way. Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, omrim, which Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda saying, who notain that he must give it? Rabbi Yossi and Rabbi Eliezer, omrim, he natna, that she was the one, she's responsible. The Savah Rabbi Yossi, he natna, and does Rabbi Yossi really hold that she's the one who puts the finger in her own mouth, that is making the vow valid? V'hatznan. But haven't we been taught elsewhere in the Mishnah? Rabbi Yossi Omer, who says, Ba'aniyot, regarding people who are poor. Shalona tan kitzvah, when they don't give a fixed date, okay, to the vow. Ema, I would say, in other words, I would amend it as follows. Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yossi only. It's Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yossi who say, who notate? He's the one who's responsible. Okay? Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Eliezer only, he not. And they feel them, Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Eliezer, say she's the one who put the finger in the mouth, and therefore she's the one who's responsible. The Savah, Rabbi Yehuda, he not. And does Rabbi Yehuda really say that she put the finger in her mouth, making the vow taking effect? But it's not. But aren't we taught elsewhere in Mishnah? Rabbi Yehuda Omer ben Israel. It's Rabbi Yehuda who says, in regards to an Israelite, Yom Echad. Okay? It's one day. He can maintain it. Ema, I would therefore amend it and say, Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda. The Rabbi Yossi, the three of them, Umrim.
On one side.
Okay, who notate that he is responsible. Rabbi Eliezer, Amer, he not. And it seems to be only Rabbi Eliezer who says she's the one who put it in her mouth, making the vow take effect. Wait a second, the Imtum Tzelomah, and if you want to really say, Zuge Katani, that normally you would have 2 against 2. Okay?
Yeah, 3 against 1.
And here, how can it be 3 against 1 exactly? Ema, Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Elazar. I'll say that it's Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Elazar. Omrim, she not. That she's the one who put the finger in the mouth and therefore made the vow take effect.
And gets no
Okay? And therefore she's not right when it gets ksuba. Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yossi, Omrim, who notate, and they say, no, it's the opposite, his fault, and therefore not only must he divorce her, but he also must save it. Right, so what happens? The Hastama, the local Rabbi Meir. But in that case, we would have a Stam Mishnah, not cited by.
And that's a period. That our Mishnah
Rabbi
can't
Meir.
see.
Okay. Now let's go on. Right? The Savah Rabbi Yossi. And Rabbi Yossi seems to be opinion. But on a youth, Shalom Natan Kitzvah, that when in a poor person, that he did not give a deadline or a decision, he must divorce him. Alma therefore, Baal Matzeh Mefa. So therefore the husband must have this option to nullify the vow. We're minhu, but we'll challenge this with the following. Eilid Varim Shahabal Mefer. These are the things we say that a husband has a responsibility to nullify regarding a vow with his wife. The varim sheyesh bahem inui nefesh. Those things in which there is suffering of some kind. So what do we mean by suffering? In echad, okay? In lo echad. If I wash or I don't wash. In a kashet, in lower kashet. If I put on perfume or if I don't put on perfume. Okay, the implication is going to be here that all of these situations, the ramification is, based on tashmish. Tashmish is the issue. If certain vows, about washing, perfuming, etc., would prevent the act of tashmish, then we see that
the husband's involved, then he can.
Amar Rabbi Yossi, who's Rabbi Yossi, Ein elu nidre inui nefesh. According to Rabbi Yossi, no, there is no business of suffering here. The elu hey nidre inui nefesh. But these are the examples of suffering. Shelo ochel basar. Don't eat meat. The shelo eshtei yain. I won't drink wine. The shelo ekashet. As we go on to the next time, the big day swim. I won't dress up in colored clothing.
Yeah, I won't wear stylish clothes.
Okay. So what are we talking about here? The devarim shebeino leveina. We're talking about those things that are between him and her. And that's why I said, because they're those things that may lead to the issue of tashmish. That's acceptable when we say that those things that are in regards to there, I'm going to put the word interrelationship. Okay, that's where the husband may nullify. Ela, lemanda amar ein haba'al mefa. But according to the one who says that the husband cannot negate the vow, then my ikla mema. What are you going to say? The itma, as it was said, the varim shebeino lebeina, those things that are part of the interaction, relationship between him and her. Rav Huna Amar says, Rav Huna haba'al mefa. The husband may negate the vow. Rav Adabar Ahava Amar and haba'al mefa. The husband cannot interfere, okay, with any issue there. Okay, why? Right? Shalom matzinu shu'al shemet ba'afar kish. Okay? In other words, he cannot, basically the Gemara is using a euphemism here. All right? In other words, he does not interfere with something that deals with their intimacy. Right? Yes, I know, and I was going to translate it. Okay? A fox is not found dead in its own fox. Right? And if you want an explanation of that, see me after the show. But what are we talking about here? I'm surprised. Corin had a long note on that. Believe it or not. Right? Kigon, all right, the Talinu, the Kishute, the Tashmish Hamita. So finally now the Gemara tells us. Why? Because we've connected this. We've hung it in regard to the issue of perfume and these other things as regards to a prelude. And we use that word to intimacy. Okay? The Amra, as we say as follows, Ye'asar hana'at hashmisheich alai. Okay? That the benefit of our relations is forbidden.
Here the dictum is very critical, okay? Because he is responsible to give her
He has the obligation.
So she has to say, I don't want to be with you. She can't say, you can't be with me. It gets tricky.
Okay.
But
yes, well, let's look at it this way. It should be forbidden. It should be forbidden the benefit of your relations with me. In et kashay. If I become perfume. Okay? In other words, as if to say that that's a signal I'm interested.
no, not interested.
Not interested.
No.
If I ever put on
the vow is she's saying, even were I to put on perfume, I'm not interested. That's what she's saying. Okay? Amar Rav Kahana, as said Rav Kahana, the Amar Rav Kahana, as he said, Hana'at Hashmishe Alaya. Okay? As Rav Kahana is saying, benefit of relations is kofet umesham shatom. In that case, he can force her and have relations. Hana'at hashmishesh alai yefer lefi she'ein ma'achilin la'adam davar ha'asur lo. Okay? If the point was the benefit of your relations on me, he would need to negate that vow. Why? Because we cannot force somebody to eat something that is forbidden. Because you can't force her in that situation. V'lo tikashet, v'lo tesah. So the Gemara says, so let her not put on perfume and not be
instead
forbidden.
of being maker, just throw away all the perfume in the house.
In Cain, if that's the case, karula menuvela. If that's the case, you're going to call her, he's going to consider her despicable.
Or everybody else.
Okay? Well, that's a different issue. We're talking about Tashmish. Okay? V'titkashet, v'ta'asa. So, if that's the case, let her put on perfume and be forbidden. Okay? So the Gemara says, either Beit Shammai shtei Shabbatot, either Beit Hillel Shabbat Echad.
That doesn't
Okay,
work.
but wait a second. If you say she's going to be forbidden, what about the fact that Beit Shammai says he could still live with her for 2 weeks? Or Beit Hillel says he can still be with her for 1 week, even without fulfilling the requirement of Tashmish. Okay, Hani Mili, Heiche, Adra Ihu. In one case, we're saying, okay, that the vow was made by him. Okay,
There you have the 1 week.
right? The Sabra, we'll get to that. The Sabra Mirtach Retach Ilai. Why? Because we're thinking maybe he's simply, I'm going to put in quotes, simply angry with me.
And he'll come
Right? This
down.
is what she's thinking. Bahashta motiv dati. And now, once his mind is settled, in other words, once he's
Calms down.
changed his mind, calmed down, etc., then, so that's a sufficient. So that's why we say 1 week or 2 weeks. Okay? Aval, but here in our Mishnah,
Where he allowed the
okay,
vow
what
to
happened?
stand.
Did Nadra ihi v'shatik la, that she made the vow, and he was silent, allowing the vow to take effect. Okay, in that case, therefore, Sabra the Meishti, that since she thought he was silent, Nisna hu desanele, he despises me and therefore wants the divorce.
And
She
therefore
wants the
she
divorce.
demands.
She wants the divorce, and therefore, better
to
still
make
that,
him
yes,
divorce her.
therefore he has to give her the divorce.
And it's his fault, according to this Lashon. So he gets her.
So she would then receive the ksuba. Okay, let's go on. Rabbi Yossi Omer, he said as follows: Va'aniyut shalom natan kitzvah. Regarding the poor person, okay, when he does not give a deadline, specific time frame for the neder. The kama kitzvah. What do we mean by how much time for the deadline, for the specific time? Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel. He says as follows: Yud Bet Kodesh, month,
A year.
12 months, okay, theoretically a year. Rava Bar Chana Amar, he says Rabbi Yochanan, in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Esher Shani, 10 years. Rav Chisda Amar Avimi, and Rav Chisda says in the name of Avimi, Regel, 1 pilgrimage festival.
Until the next
Okay, why? Shekain Benot Yisrael Mikashtot Regel. Because normally the Jewish girls put on perfume, dress up for the holidays, for the regel. So it would be up till the time of the first regel, the first
Upcoming.
pilgrimage coming up. Holiday. Now go on. Ba'ashirot, but our Mishnah said, regards to wealthy families, we're talking 30 days. Ma'ishna la shloshim yom. Why? What's so unique or different about 30 days? Amar Abaye, shekain isha chashuva nehanet mireich shutei la shloshim yom. Why? Because the important women benefit, enjoy the wearing of perfume. Okay, at least within a 30-day period. They wouldn't
That
go
the
more
perfume
than.
lasts
They wouldn't
30
go.
days.
That's
And
one
therefore
shot.
she
Another is that
doesn't
they wouldn't go more than 30
Right, so if
days.
it lasts 30
without-
days,
No, that's
Oh,
different.
Without putting on
That's
perfume.
different. Okay, they wouldn't go more than 30 days without putting on perfume.
correct, because
But that doesn't mean
it
the
lasts.
perfume.
Okay.
Not the
That
theory
doesn't
here
mean
is,
that it lasts.
if the perfume lasts 30 days, and she says, I'm not going to put on perfume for a week, that's meaningless. Her old perfume is still lingering. But if she says, I'm not going to put on perfume for 6 weeks, then the old perfume's gone there
Well,
for
that's
30 days,
that's a
and it
different
affects the
That's a
husband.
different shot. I'll accept it, but that's not.
It's only
not needed. I knew Mishnah.
Only for people who are
All right.
experts of perfume.
expert on perfume.
Okay, Amadir et Ishto Shalot Telech Lebeit Aviv. Okay, he makes a vow that his wife cannot go visit her father. Okay? However, the Gemara Mishnah continues. Bisman Shehu Ima Ba'ir. That's a situation when the father is living in the same city. Chodesh echad. Okay, 1 month. Yikayim. Okay, you can maintain it. Shnayim, it says 2 months. Yotzi v'yitain k'tuba. Okay, he must put her out, in other words, divorce her and pay her k'tuba. Ubizman shehu ba'ir achir. And at the time when the father, okay, her father lived in a different city, regular echad yikayim. Okay, 1 month, up to one regular, one holiday. Okay, he can maintain with her. Shlosha, yotzi v'yitain k'tuba. 3, however, and that is for 3 pilgrimage holidays. Okay, he must divorce her and pay her her k'tuba. Okay, what happens? Hamadir et ishto shelo telech lebeit ha'evel or lebeit ha'mishteh. If he makes a vow that his wife cannot attend either a mourner's
Either a base of
right, or a wedding celebration. Okay, in either of those situations. Yotzi v'yitain k'tuba. He must divorce her and pay her k'tuba. Lifnei shenoel b'faneha. Why? Because it's like he's locking a door before her. In other words, he's keeping her from interacting with the community. Okay? V'im haya to'en mishum davar achim. Okay? But if it was, his claim was that he's not allowing her to go to these places because of another reason, and you can guess what the other reason is going to be. Okay? Right? Rashai, then it is permitted for him to prevent her from going. Okay, Amar La, he says to her, Amanat shetomri leploni ma she'amart li. If he says to her, he's making this vow that you can't go or do, or certainly that is based on the fact that you will say to so-and-so what I told you. In other words, you're going to reveal family secrets. Or ma she'amart lach, or something else that I told you, okay? Oh, shetehei memle'ah uma'arah la'ashpa, or you have to fill and take out the garbage, okay? Now we know why that's the job of a Jewish husband, okay? All right? What happens? Yotzi v'yitain k'tuba. He must divorce her and pay her.
If he has to take out the garbage.
Okay? Not necessarily. Okay? Right. Okay, what happened? Gemara says, Hagufa Kasha. This whole Mishnah is problematic. Says
Where's the ratio?
Okay?
Beginning.
Beginning with the start, the first initial part. Amar. On the one hand, you say, Regel Echad Yikayim. Up to 1 pilgrimage festival, he can remain with her. Hash, which implies Hashnayim. But when it comes to 2 pilgrimage festivals, Yotzi, you must divorce her, v'yitain k'tuba, and pay her k'tuba. Ema Sefer. But then I say, look at the end of the Mishnah, where it says, Shlosha Yotzi v'yitain k'tuba, that up to 3 pilgrimage festivals, he must divorce her and pay the k'tuba. From this I would determine, Shnayim Yikayim. That were only up to 2, okay, he could still maintain and keep her and stuff like that. Amar Abai says Abai Seifa at the Am Kohenet. Okay, the end statement of our Mishnah comes to tell us that's how we arrive to deal with the situation of a wife, a woman that's married to a couple.
So just like in the 30 days, 2 months.
So we have 2 time periods here. Verebi Yehuda, and therefore we say that this Mishnah has got to be edited, so to speak, by Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Bar Ula says as follows: Lo Kashi. No, there's no problem here. Kan v'ridufa, kan v'she'ino ridufa. Okay. Now let's look at Rashi. Again, under the Gemara in Ridufa. Okay, you see where Rashi says Gemara? It's 2 lines below. Ridufa. Le'lech lebeit aviha tamid. Okay, she consistently always goes, right? Shnayim yotzi right? Twice.
How many Shtayim? Yes.
She'ena v'dufa, shnayim yikayim. So that's how Rashi tries to help us understand how eager she is to go back to her father. Now, since we mentioned this, we're going to cite a couple of psukim that are connected with this concept. Pasuk number 1. Az hayiti be'enav k'motzeit shalom. So that's one pasuk. Right? Basically, implying that, that as if I was in his eyes finding peace. So what does that mean? Amar Rebbe Yochanan, he says, why is she running to her father? Kikala shenimseit shloma b'beit kamah, like a bride that has found peace, a well-being in the house of her father-in-law, because that's where she moved in when she married her husband.
Her parents have great things.
Uredufa leilech ulahagid shivcha b'beit aviha, and she eager to run home to tell her own father the praise of how great things are in her father-in-law's estate, household. Second pasuk, v'haya b'yom hahu ne'um Hashem tikrei ishi v'lo tikrei li od ba'ali. Okay, it will come on that day, says Hashem, that you will call me your husband, your man, and not simply call me your Ba'ali, your master. I'm going to use that translation. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yochanan, Kikala b'beit kameha. Now again, she is like a bride in the household of her father-in-law. Okay? V'lo kikala b'beit aviha. And not like a bride, and Harusa, really, is what they're referring to, in her own husband's house. Because he's like her husband, he's not simply my master. Okay? And that's where we're going to stop. So she's comfortable, therefore, living there with her husband in that situation.
Okay, good note.
Thank you for the use of your
Tomorrow I'm taking.
You're welcome.